the conversations we have with ourselves in our head are the most important conversations of our lives. Far more important than conversations we have with other people, because the conversations we have with ourselves are the seeds that are planted, that grow into this person that we are, and that person becomes the person that we present to everyone else. Everything starts with how we talk to ourselves. And with that in mind, I'm going to be sharing 5 of my favorite quotes that help me to remain mindful, that help me to live a life of intention and purpose, and remind me of the person that I want to be. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jessica and I'm the Mental Health Mom. I'm a mental health counselor in the sunny state of Florida. I have a master's in clinical mental health counseling, and I have experience working with individuals and groups. I also have experience as a researcher and teaching at a university setting. I also have experience as a psychometrist, where I've performed neuropsychological assessments and evaluations on individuals for things like ADHD, dementia, personality disorders, pretty much anything you can think of that is mental health related. I've probably tested someone for it. My goal is always to help individuals use the tools they already have in order to become their favorite versions of themselves. And our mind is such a valuable tool. So are we going to use it in a way that is helpful for us, or are we going to use our mind in a way that is unhelpful for us? I really benefit emotionally and mentally from seeing powerful quotes. And in that regard, I keep powerful quotes up around my house. I will keep them in places where I can see them often, because these are quotes that remind me of the headspace that I want to be in, and these quotes ultimately remind me of the person that I want to be. So I'm going to be sharing those with you today, and I'm so excited. Buckle yourselves in. I hope you enjoy these quotes as much as I do. The first quote is, if you're living in the past, you're depressed. If you're living in the future, you're anxious. If you are living in the present, you are completely at peace. I love this quote. I have also found that this quote has been very beneficial for my clients as well, because if you really get into the nitty-gritty of things like anxiety and depression, you'll find that depression really does stem from having past regrets, living in the past, saying, I wish I had done this, and this feeling of being ultimately stuck either where you are or in the past, not taking steps forward. When it comes to anxiety, individuals who struggle with anxiety are future focused in most instances. They're constantly thinking about the things they have to do, the things they can't do, what needs to be done, yada, yada, yada. If you are struggling with either depressive symptoms or anxious symptoms, I encourage you to take a good look at your headspace. Where are you spending your mental time? Are you remaining present and in the moment? If not, doing so will certainly help you to achieve much more inner and outer peace, just as it has done for me. The second quote that I keep up around my house is, you are the sky, everything else is just weather. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but this is what I call my snap phrase. If I'm ever just in a really funky mood, this phrase is one of the most powerful phrases for me, and it really helps to snap me out of that funky mood and put me in the place where I ultimately want to be, a more healthy headspace. I love everything about it. You are the sky, everything else is just weather. It reminds me that these little things that are stressing me out, these little things that I'm finding overwhelming at the moment, they're gonna come and go. You know, the tide is going to ebb and flow, but what is still going to be here is me. They're going to be passing by just like clouds, just like storms, but I'm the sky. I am still going to be here even when these things are long gone. The next quote I actually keep on my phone, and it's a quote that pertains to marriage, but I think it's really helpful as a reminder just as how to treat myself also. what I really love about this quote, and I do try to employ this into our marriage, and my husband employs this as well. We always talk about how we need to treat our marriage with reverence and treat it as something that is important. But I find that this is a really good reminder of how we also should be treating ourselves. How often do you just take time to polish yourself up again and make yourself like new? Do you expose yourself to the elements? Like, how much toxicity are you exposing yourself to? Are you exposing yourself to toxic people, toxic situations? Are you allowing yourself to step back occasionally from the stressors of life and have some enjoyment and amusement? If not, I think this serves as a really powerful reminder that nothing that lasts forever can last forever under extreme circumstances. And that goes for us as well. We have to be taking care of ourselves if we want to be our favorite version of ourselves for our family. If we remind ourselves that we are special, then the other people around us ultimately treat us as that special person as well. If we treat ourselves with respect and forgiveness and dignity, then we are ultimately training other people on how to treat us by modeling that example for them. I saw this next quote in some sort of a psychology magazine. I don't even remember exactly how it goes, but the quote says, "You have the power to set the tone in your home, even if it is most often set by default." I keep this quote up actually in my office. Any sort of talk therapy space that I have, I typically have this quote somewhere up because it's a reminder that we have a lot more control over our lives and over our thoughts than we actually give ourselves credit for a lot of the time. We actually do have the power to set the tone, to have a joyful experience, to have a joyful day, to not allow other things to take over and happen to us. We have the power to embrace things as they happen and keep a positive attitude and keep a hopeful perspective. And I think that is such a valuable reminder that, yeah, it may not happen this way all the time. Sometimes we go through this life without having the intention that we always want to have, but it's always a perfect time to start living the way we've always wanted to live. We do have the power to set the tone of our own home, even if it's most often set by default. So the fifth and final quote that we're going to talk about today, and I think I'm going to make a video later on with more quotes if you guys like this video, but the fifth one is actually a misquote that I saw years ago. So just from the research I've done on this situation, it looks like someone put this quote in a magazine, said that this came from one of Buddha's teachings, and it was found out later that this quote was actually kind of mistranslated and was adapted to be much simpler than it actually is. But I still really love this quote, and so I guess we can credit the author with this quote, but either way, I still love it and employ it all the time, and that is, you, as much as anyone in the entire universe, also deserve your love and affection. Nothing could be truer and could hit home more than this quote for me. I think so often we give other people the love and respect that we don't give to ourselves. Even our time. So often we go through our lives and we give other people the best parts of ourselves without really taking the time to give back to ourselves. I know as a mother, I have found this to be true, but also as a therapist. I have found in many cases that I spend my day with my clients giving them the best part of myself, giving them everything that I have, and then when it comes to pouring that care back into myself, I have very little left over. So it is of the utmost importance to me that I make time to have that self-care, that I make time to pour back into myself and also give that same love, attention, and affection to myself that I am constantly giving to other people. So in order to draw water from the well, it has to be full. Again, this is the quote that makes a lot of sense when we hear it, yet how do we apply this? And it's just by doing it. We have to make time for ourselves. When we start treating ourselves as a priority, then other people do too. So I hope these quotes serve as a tool to help you become your favorite version of yourself. I hope they are helpful in creating a positive and rich environment in your home, in your headspace, and I hope that they can be as inspirational and motivating to you as they have been to me. Alright guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you would like for me to do another video like this. I could go over my favorite quotes all day, every day. I just love powerful quotes so much. So let me know what quotes you guys like also. I am always down to hear more inspirational quotes. So please leave those in the comments section. I can't wait to converse with you, and I will see you next time. Bye.